Lesson 26, Deleting While Looping. Okay, I'm going to share with you one of the things that stung me somewhere along the line. I think the whole point of this live lesson is you're learning from the mistakes that I made over a series of years. There's one very particular problem that's going to happen if you have a loop, and during the course of this loop, you're going to be deleting any rows. I'm going to show you this, and we're going to introduce a new keyword here, the step keyword, that will allow us to deal with this particular problem. Let's get started. All right, so I have my Excel data set here. This time, I need to loop through all of these rows and get rid of anything with the letter Z in column B. All right, so I've already written the macro. Let's take a look at the macro here. Very short little macro. It says, hey, figure out where the final row is. Remember, I said I'm going to use this line of code as the first line of code in just about every macro. And then I loop through from I equals 2 to final row. I only have to check for one thing. Is column B of this row equal to Z? And if it is, delete the entire row. I mean, basically, we have 6 lines of code here. Very, very simple. I'm so confident that this is a simple macro. I'm not even going to run it step by step the first time. I'm just gonna go. Let's go. Let's press the run button. You notice that we have 20 rows here. We should end up with less than 20 rows. All of the Z's will be gone when we're done. All right, sure enough, we end up with 17 rows instead of 20. It must have deleted some stuff. But then as we look, there's still a Z here, and there's a Z here. What's up with this? Why did the macro miss those rows? And we're going to have to take a look at this kind of in slow motion. We're going to do the slow motion instant replay to figure out exactly what's happening. I set up a watch down here so we can watch what's happening. And I'm going to run this macro one line at a time. So we figure out where final row is. Final row is equal to 20. First time through the loop, we're going from 2 to 20, so I will be equal to 2, of course. We do a check and say, hey, is cell B2, in other words, row 2, column 2 equal to Z? And it's not true, so we should skip right down to the end if. And now next I, so now I is equal to 3. All right, is cell B3 equal to Z? Well, yes, it is equal to 3, so we're going to come down here and actually run the line of code inside of the if statement. All right, so we're about to delete row 3. All right, and you know the problem here, as I always think about this, the macro, it's almost as if the macro can't see the worksheet. It doesn't see what's happening. All right, so I want you to stick in your head that we're currently looking at row 3. That's the row that we're looking at. We're looking at row 3. We run that line of code, and we delete that row in the worksheet. And unfortunately, we now see it. Everything just moved up. But it's like the macro isn't smart enough to perceive that. It just says, okay, well, I'm going to keep running here. Next I, I'm going to add 1 to the value of I. So now I is equal to 4. And it starts checking row 4. Well, that means that this row here never gets checked. And when it deletes row 5 here, the row 6 that moved up to row 5 will never get checked. And when it deletes row 18, the row 19 that moves up to row 18 will never get checked. A very particular problem, very annoying because it appears that we did delete some Z's. If I would have just, checked the first record, yeah, the Z got deleted. But then there's other Z's that don't get deleted. Very common problem here, and it is one of those things that stings you. It seems that it should work, but it doesn't work. And the solution is that if you're going to be deleting rows as you go through the data set, you need to run the loop backwards. It turns out that in our for next loop here, we've been leaving out a default keyword. Turns out that we actually should have been saying step 1. Step 1 says, hey, as you go through this loop, we're going to start at 2, we're going to go to final row, and every time through, we're going to increase by 1. All right. If you don't put step 1 there, they just assume that the step is 1. But we can have a different step, and so we can say we want to go from final row to 2, and then say step -1. Step -1. All right, let's see how this is going to work. All right, so we start to run our code here. We'll press F8 a few times. And so for I equals final row to 2, you can see down here in our watch window that the final row is 20. And we check to see if 20 is equal to z. And it is, and so we delete row 20. And then we come back up, and now I is 19 because we're subtracting 1 from I each time. Is row 19 column B equal to 20? It is, so we delete it. And then the next several times it's not equal to I, not equal to I, not equal to I. And we can just go ahead and let this thing run. And we will actually delete all of the column Z's. Okay, so most of the time I loop through for I equals 2 to final row, but you have to think about it. And if you're going to be deleting anything along the way, you then want to run the loop backwards for I equals final row to 2, step -1. All right, so we're going to use one or the other, either I equals 2 to final row or I equals final row to 2, step -1 to go backwards through the loop. Just a very particular problem, but it's a problem that is very common. I mean, lots of times we have to go through and delete the extraneous records, delete the blanks, delete the whatever. And so you're going to run into this, just one of those tools in your arsenal to make sure that you know to run the loop backwards from the bottom to the top anytime you might be deleting records as we go. Well, in the next lesson, we're going to take a look at how to use this step to do other things, to hit every other row or every 5th row or something like that. Thanks for watching this lesson. I hope you found this lesson helpful.
Looking to advance your career by acquiring new skills? Tired of expensive off-site training programs? Wish you could learn from the best instructors in the industry? Look no further than Live Lessons. Self-paced, personal video instruction by the world's leading technology publishers. Each live lesson comes with a DVD featuring 3 to 4 hours of instructor-led classroom training, sample program code that allows you to work along with your personal instructor, and an example-rich study guide. Live lessons allow you to watch the entire course from start to finish, or navigate directly to any of the individual lessons. You'll literally watch over the shoulder of your instructor as he shows you how to build state-of-the-art applications. Live lessons, the power of the world's leading technology experts at your fingertips. To learn more, visit mylivelessons.com today.